Third principle, define roles and responsibilities. There should be a clear structure of responsibilities in a project. A PRINCE2 project has defined and agreed roles and responsibilities with an organization structure that engages the business, user, and supplier stakeholder interests. So there are three interests in a PRINCE2 project within the PRINCE2 project management organization structure. First one is business interest. This is about the sponsors who endorse project objectives and ensure that the investment provides value for money. They are the stakeholders who invest money and who clarify the objectives of the project and authorize that these objectives have to be met through the project planning and execution and control. Users, they use the products to derive expected benefits. Therefore, users will also specify what they want. So therefore, generally, most of the requirements of the project come from the users. Lastly, suppliers. Suppliers are the stakeholders who provide required resources like people, equipment, materials, etc., and expertise on the subject matter, which are specific to industry. These may be internal or external. Suppliers may exist in different industries like IT, construction, pharma, and so on. When we go to the organization theme, we will cover more about the previous principle of defined roles and responsibilities, wherein we will understand how a PRINCE2 organization structure really looks like. Manage by stages. This principle has a lot more information compared to the previous principles. A PRINCE2 project is planned, monitored, and controlled on a stage-by-stage basis. The planning horizon is defined by dividing the project into stages, creating a high-level project plan, and a detailed stage plan for the current stage. Planning horizon is the distance for the planning. As a project manager, you may have a planning distance for the next 3 months or a planning distance for the next 6 months. That is known as a planning horizon. So the planning distance really depends on how much information is available to us for the detailed planning for those 3 months or for those 6 months. That's why by dividing the project into stages, we create the planning horizon. So if you have project with a 3-month stage, the planning horizon is 3 months. If a project stage or a phase is 6 months long, it has a planning horizon of 6 months. The second thing about this distance for planning is by creating a high-level project plan. So if the entire project is running for 1 year, then we will have a project plan for that 1 year. However, within that 1-year plan, there will also be detailed stage level plans for the current stage, meaning there will be a detailed plan for stage 1, detailed plan for stage 2, detailed plan for stage 3, if that 1-year project has 3 stages. Again, each stage may be of different durations. It's not necessary that every stage has to be exactly 4 months long in a 1-year project. If there are 3 stages, the first stage could be 1 month long, the second stage could be 8 months long, and the third stage could be 3 months long to make it 12 months or a 1-year long project. Therefore, the project plan will clarify the number of stages and the duration of each stage and approximately what would be done in every stage. Whereas each stage plan will go into detail and depth on the activities, resource plans, etc., and the products to be delivered in each and every stage and how they would be delivered. PRINCE2 definition of a management stage. The section of a project that the project manager is managing on behalf of the project board at any one time, at the end of which the project board will wish to review progress to date and wish to review the state of the project plan, wish to review the business case, and wish to review the risks and wish to review the next stage plan. So many things would be reviewed by the project board at the end of the stage. And why? In order to decide whether to continue with the project. So at the end of stage 1, the project board will check the progress, check the overall project plan, if the project plan is still suitable, and the performance of the overall project plan, and also the performance of the business case, and what are the overall risks to the project, and is the next stage plan ready or not. And only if the next stage plan is ready, then the board may authorize closure of the current stage and start of the next stage. 2 management stages minimum required in a PRINCE2 project. which means a PRINCE2's project has minimum 2 stages. The first stage is always the initiation stage, always. And followed by that, there are one or more delivery stages where products are delivered. Therefore, no results, service, outputs, or products are delivered in the initiation stage because the initiation stage is used for detailed planning. And once the plan is ready in the initiation stage and other things are ready, then the authorization is provided by the project board to enter the execution or delivery of the project. Two authorizations are provided at that time. Authorization to execute, which is also known as authorize the project, and secondly, authorized to execute the first delivery stage, meaning execute the first delivery stage. Stages facilitate the manage by exception principle. We look at manage by exception next, which means escalation, which means if there is a breach of a tolerance limit during the project, it is called an exception. For example, if the project is likely to extend beyond the approved time, then it is an exception situation. If the project budget is likely to be more than what was estimated, then it is an exception. Similarly, a stage may go in exception if the stage is going to be extended or if the stage budget is going to exceed its approved value. And these exceptions may happen not only for the cost and time, but may be happening for reasons like risks, benefits, quality, and scope. So when the project is broken down into stages, it facilitates the exception can happen during a stage or during a project. The project board delegates authority to the project manager for the day-to-day control of the project within agreed tolerances. This is a key statement for the exam. It says that the project board delegates authority to the PM. So the role of the PM really is day-to-day control of the project. Not the overall control, but day-to-day. This is a key thing to differentiate. So in the exam, if the question is who has overall control on the project, it is the project board. Who has day-to-day management and control of the project? Project manager. Therefore, who has overall control of a stage? It is a project manager. So relate the project board with the project manager with the stage. However, this is just a starting point. We will reinforce this message few more times when we come to a specific theme or a specific process. And the delegation is done within agreed tolerances. Therefore, the project board has delegated the day-to-day control by providing tolerances to the project manager. For example, the board may define the stage tolerances. And because the PM is managing the stage, the PM meaning the project manager, the PM will watch out whether he or she will exceed the stage timeline or the stage cost or other aspects or targets. And if that happens, the PM will raise an exception. However, the exception is a different principle, but if the project is not managed by stages, it may be difficult to manage by exception. Let's get a visual view of what the stages really mean. As we just discussed, every PRINCE2 project has at least 2 stages. The first stage is always the initiation stage for the detailed planning, and then followed by one or more delivery stages. This project here has only one delivery stage where the outputs are delivered for the project. Certain products may be delivered, after which the project is closed. So the delivery of products as well as closing happens in this delivery stage. And before the project, there is known as pre-project work. This is where the project mandate, if you remember from a previous section, project mandate is given by the customer or the program management or the corporate level management, which can be a challenge or a problem statement to be handled by the project team. And with that mandate comes in from above, it will trigger the pre-project work. For example, investigating whether the project is worth doing or not. And therefore a business justification will be created or a reasoning for a project will be created. And if the reason is sound enough, then only the initiation of a project will happen. Therefore, the PRINCE2 project really runs from initiation to closure. A PRINCE2 project, because it has 2 minimum stages, therefore it can have even 3 or 4. This is another example. We still have only one initiation stage here for the detailed planning. And as before, we have pre-project work to decide whether it is worth doing this project. But after this initiation stage, there is not just one delivery stage, there are two delivery stages. So delivery stage 1, certain outputs will be delivered, and in delivery stage 2, some more outputs will be delivered, as long as the project will be, also the project will be closed. And the products may be accepted any time. In general, products are accepted towards the end of a stage or a phase. Some organizations may want to call it a phase rather than a stage, but Prince2 calls it a stage. Therefore, these acceptances of products or results or a service or certain improvements may happen at the end of this stage. However, it is also possible that those acceptances may be happening before the stage ends at certain other milestones or defined points in a project. And therefore, the project manager will just take a check on how many acceptances occurred in this stage and maybe create a report for upper management or the project board that the following acceptances occurred during this stage, along with other stories in order to obtain authorization to go to the next stage. Therefore, the manage by stages, the purpose is to stop somewhere for the project to take control and authorize the next stage or not.